Now that turn is pretty good, but it's got no information that we're inputting. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it to the next level. And what we're going to do is double click on begin. It's going to pull up this window. We're going to add some arguments, some information that's going to go in. So we're going to do an integer, speed, and then click on the arrows, integer, degrees. Well, helps if I spell it correctly. So we got speed and degrees, similar to what we had in the forward function. We're going to bring information in. So we've got speed, degrees, yes. I'd like to clean that. And all that was just a warning that I've already used this, so now it has missing information. It won't run because I've added new parameters to it. So in right tight turn, I've got speed, I've got degrees, I've got some information. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add an if statement. So let's say if my degrees that I entered is equal, there we go, equal to 90, then what I want to do is set the weight to a specific value. So I want to set a weight to a specific value. So let's create that variable. This is integer. We're going to call this weight time. And we're going to set the value as a default to 0. So if I forget or I don't put in the right numbers, it'll just default to 0 and it'll keep on going on, let me know that, hey, something went wrong. So wait time default value is going to be 0. So if I say 90 degrees, if I hit 91, it won't do it, but if it's 90 degrees, it'll jump in and it will do an exact wait time of, and we're going to guess that, again, that was 500 for us. So wait time equals 500. So we've set the variable wait time to 500. Now let's use wait time down here. Wait time. So if I type in 90 degrees, wait time is 500, and it's going to be 500 used right there in place of that variable, and it's going to give me that perfect 90-degree turn that I've tested over and over again to make sure it was right. Now, we tested at 127. We're going to make sure that speed is adjustable. For me, if you remember on the wait command, or the function, for the forward function, we did the speed times a negative. So if you need a negative, put in the -1 times speed. I, on my example here, do not. So it's going to be just the value speed. So input the speed. And I recommend testing at 70. Testing at 70 is going to be a good, decent speed for you to accurately see, and then it won't have any like drift or inertia affecting it as much as it would if we were at a full power. So we've got our speed. It's going to go in there. And then we've got our degrees. So if the degrees equals 90, it'll do a wait time of 500. Let's put another if statement in there. Let's go if degrees equals 45. I'm just going to copy this, paste that, and for our crude example, let's say it's 250. So now depending on what I type in here, if I type in something that's not one of these two, it's going to default it to 0. If I type in 45, it'll set it to 250. It'll come down here. Nope, skips that. And it'll put in the information right here. So my turns will end up being exactly these as long as I've tested them at the speed with the battery value. So we'll just say the battery value is this. The last time I tested it, and these are the values I have, and let's delete that. So this is what it would look like with our super user function for the tight right turn. We're inputting information, speed in degrees. We've made our variable, wait time. We've defaulted it to 0. We know that our battery voltage has been tested at 8.1, so our numbers should be consistent-ish at 8.1. If we wanted 45 degrees, it would do this. At 90 degrees, it would do this. And so we've tested those repeatedly, and we've got our value from speed being utilized here and our wait time being utilized here, and then everything's being turned off. To double check it, we're going to compile the project. This lets us kind of build and set everything up. Oh, I've got an error. It lets us set everything up, and then we just go back and check where it is. And I can check that by double-clicking on this. And it says, hey, look, you forgot to put those numbers in. So let's do that. Let's double-click. Speed. So speed, I'm going to set that to 70, like I said. And then I'm going to test 45 this time around. So I'm going to do 45 and press OK. And then it'll wait 3 seconds and run. You can also put this at the middle of your if statement for your button loop if you've been doing that. So this will just run that part as it goes through.